Hello everyone, good morning. So, in the last lecture, we have completed up to adaptation and habitat, right? What do we mean by adaptation? What do we mean by adapted? First, let's revise it. In all these variety of organisms, we will find that they have certain features that help them to live in the surroundings in which they are normally found. The presence of specific features or certain habits which enable an organism to live naturally is in a place is called adaptation. Okay, the animal or the creature which have that specific features which are helpful or which enables them to live in that place is called adaptation. Adaptation of organism differ depending on their place of dwelling. That is why a fish cannot live out of water and a camel cannot live in the sea. The place where organisms live is called habitat. Moving further, habitat means a dwelling place, a home, a living place. The habitat provides food, water, air, shelter, and other needs to organisms. Several kinds of plants and animals live in the same habitat. Okay, there are some places which provide food, water, air, shelter, and provide all type of needs to the organism which help them to live in that place. Several kinds of plants and animals live in the same habitat. So, in our textbook, two types of habitats are given. First is terrestrial and the second one is aquatic. So first see what is terrestrial. The plants and animals that live on the land are said to live in terrestrial habitats. Okay, whereas the habitats of plants and animals that live in the water are called aquatic. Okay, from the word only, from the title only, we can understand terrestrial means the plant and animal who live on the land, and aquatic, that means who live in the water. Some of the example of terrestrial habitats are forest, grasslands, desert, coastals and mountain region. And in the aquatic, lakes, rivers and ocean are some of the example of aquatic habitats. Further, it can be more classified, but which is not given in the textbook. It is extra part, that is arboreal habitat. Okay, arboreal. Arboreal habitats include habitats on trees, the plants and animals which lives on the trees. Okay, organism that lives on trees like monkey and squirrels are arboreal organism. Birds have aerial habitats as they use the sky or air for their activity, that is aerial habitat. Some animals like frog and toad live both on land and in water. They are called amphibians and the habitat is called amphibious habitat. Okay, we have further divided this type of habitat. Moving further to component of habitat. A habitat consists of two main components. Living components are called biotic components and non-living components are called abiotic components. Okay, components of habitats are two. There are two main components. First, okay, living component and non-living component. Living components are called biotic component and non-living components are called abiotic components. Biotic components include plants and animals. Abiotic include soil, rocks, air, water, light and temperature. Okay, let's move further. Biotic components. The organism, both plant and animals living in the habitat are its biotic components. Okay, this is the definition. The non-living things such as rocks, soil, air and water in the habitat constitute its abiotic component. Okay, here one chart is given, okay, which has given an overview of biotic components and abiotic components. You can have a look on that. Now, moving further to one activity. Recall activity 5 in chapter 1. What was that activity? We made sprouts from moong and chana seeds. Do you remember that? Yes, we have did this. When the seed turned into a sprout, it is said to have germinated. The growth of that seed is called germinated. This is the beginning of life of a new plant. So what we have to do in this activity? Collect some dry moong seeds. Keep 20 to 30 seeds aside and soak the rest in the water for a day. First you have to take dry moong seed, then keep 20 to 30 seeds aside. Okay, don't use that. Use the remaining water to soak it into the water. Divide the soak seed after a day. Divide the soak seed into 4 parts. Keep one part completely submerged in the water for 3 to 4 days. Okay, so first part we have to submerge into water. Do not disturb the dry seeds, okay, and those submerged in the water. Keep one part of soaked seed in a sunny room, okay, one in water, one in sunny room, and another in completely dark region like cupboard that does not allow light. Okay, so one in water, one in sunny room, one in dark region. Keep the last part in very cold surroundings, say in refrigerator or with ice around them. Rise them and replace the water every day. So what was the aim? What is the aim of activity? We will see this. If you do this activity, you will see the germination or the growth is totally different. Okay, in refrigerator, sprout cannot be formed, or in a sunny room, sprout is formed but not of a good quality. Okay, there will be some changes in the sprouts. So from that we can say that abiotic factors like air, water, light and heat are important for the growth of plant. If any one of these is absent, then the growth of plant cannot be occurred or cannot be in a good way. In fact, abiotic factors are important for all living organisms. We find that organisms exist in very cold as well as very hot climates, isn't it? Yes, we have find. How do they manage to survive? That special features or that special habit. Adaptation is the method by which organisms get well adjusted to the climate. Okay, so if we have to adjust in that climate, we have to adapt some special qualities. Without that, we cannot survive in that. Adaptation does not take place in a short time because abiotic factors of a region also change very slowly. Those organisms which cannot adapt to these changes dies and only the adapted ones survive. Organism adapts to different abiotic factor in different ways. This result in wide varieties of organisms in different habitats. Moving further to 9.3, a journey through a different habitats. So what is this all about? Let's see. In this, we will see different habitation of some regions like desert, ocean. Okay, likewise. First, let's see some terrestrial habitats. So first come deserts. We have seen the adaptation technique of camel, right? The body is such a way of camel that they can survive in the desert. Now what about plants? So let's see that adaptation in desert plants. Here in the picture you can see a picture of cactus. It is cactus. So leaves are either absent or very small or reduced to spines. This helps to reduce water loss through transpiration. Okay, many of you will be thinking that this green portion are leaves, but no, they are not leaves, they are stem. Okay, remember this. In the desert, the bigger portion is stem, but in normal way, stem is thin, but in desert it is very thick, and the pointed thing, the spines, are the leaves. Okay, this pointed thing which you are seeing in the picture are spines or reduced leaves. Okay, and the other functions are like roots are very long. So leaves are either absent or very small or reduced to spines. This helps to reduce water loss through transpiration. We know that leaves through transpiration loses water, but if the leaves are smaller in size, they will lose less water. Okay, because in desert we have to preserve water as much as possible. Stem is green and it prepares food for the plants. Okay, here the scenario is totally different. Photosynthesis does occur in the stems. In the general scenario, we see leaves that prepare food for the plant, but in desert, stem is the one who prepare food for the plant. Stem becomes spongy to store water. Stem is covered with a thick waxy layer. This helps in retaining water inside the plant body. Root system goes deep into the soil for the absorbing water. So the structure of the plant is such a way that uh, they retain water very much. They don't lose the water, and thus they are able to survive in the desert. The next is activity number 3. What we have to do? Bring a potted cactus and a leaf plant to the classroom. Tie polythene bag to some part of the two plants, as was done in the activity number 4 in the chapter 7. We have to just tie the polythene bag on the leaves, where we studied the transpiration on the plants. Now here we are going to see the transpiration process in these two different plants. Leave the potted plant in the sun and observe after a few hours. What do you see? Do you notice any difference in the amount of water collected in the two polythene bags? Yes, we will definitely see, because we know that in general leaves are leaves transpirate the water, but in the plant like cactus which are present in the desert, they do not lose water easily. So our conclusion will be desert plants lose very little water through transpiration. The leaves in the desert plants are either absent, very small, or they are in the form of spines. This helps in reducing loss of water from the leaves through transpiration. This was very obvious. The next region is mountain. We have seen desert. Now we will see mountain. In the mountain, the weather is very cold and wetty due to the trees, due to the smaller gap between the trees. The environment is very cold because direct sunlight is not getting to the land because of the wide trees. So there is very much cold, and in mountain are at a higher level. So wind will be always there. The ground is covered with the snow. This condition make it difficult for plants to grow and for animals to move around and find food. So which type of adaptation are taken by the plants and animals to survive in this type of region? Most mountain plants grow closer to the ground to avoid being uprooted by strong and frequent wind. Okay, the trees are normally cone shaped with sloping branches. Leaves of some plants are needle shaped. So see, here you can see this. The middle picture, this one. Here you can see this, that the trees are very pointed. Okay, there are bigger trees, but the bigger trees are pointed, and the shorter trees are growing near to the ground only. Okay, what do animal do for the surviving? Can you make name some animals living in very cold place? So here two examples are given: yak and polar bear. These two live in the mountain region. Yak, snow leopard found in the mountains. Penguins and polar bear found in the Arctic areas are some examples. So, what do yak do for surviving? In yak, a thick coat of fur protects the animal from the cold. When the ground is covered with the snow, the yak uses its hooves and horns to break the ice and graze on the grass beneath. Okay. So firstly there is a fur. Okay, a thick layer of fur around his on his body to protect it from the cold, and the legs or the end portion of hooves are such that they remove ice from the land. Okay, so they use horns and hooves to remove the ice and eat grass. A snow leopard has a thick layer of fur on its body, including feet and toes, to protect it from the cold. In polar bear, there is a thick layer of fur on the body and a layer of fat underneath its skin, which protect the animal from the cold. Padded feet helps into walking on the snow. Here you can see a thick layer, and it is very much fatty, and the flat feet which or a padded feet which help them to move in the snow. The last is grassland. Okay, we have seen desert, we have seen mountain which has snow. Now it's the time for grasslands. So what do animal do for the surviving? A lion live in the forest or a grassland and is a strong animal that can hunt and kill animals like deer, right? It is a light brown in color. Here the description of lion is given. Look at the picture of the lion and that of the deer. In the slide you can see both the picture. Now observe one thing. How are the eyes placed in the face of these two animals? So here you can see that the eyes are on the front portion, of the face, but in the deer they are on the sides. Okay, they are on the sides of face. Lion have long claws in their front legs that can be withdrawn inside the toes. Do the features of lion help it any way to survive? Yes, due to its claws and teeth, they are able to kill the deers. Its light brown color help it to hide in the dry grassland when it hunts for the prey animals to eat. What do you mean by prey? Prey is animals to eat. The eyes in the front of the face allow it to have a correct idea about the location of its prey. A deer is another animal that lives in the forest and grassland. It has a strong teeth for chewing hard plant stems of the forest. A deer needs to know about the presence of predator. Predator means the animal who is going to kill him. Okay, animals like lion that make it to their prey. Okay, prey means the animal which is going to be eaten, and the predator means animal which is going to kill another animal. Okay, in order to run away from them and not become their prey, it has long ears to hear movement of the predator. Okay, what is the function of that ear? They hear the sound very precisely and hear the movement of the predators. The eyes on the side of its head allow it to look in the all directions. Okay, this is the main function why the eyes on the deer face is on the sides. The speed of the deer help them to run away from the predator. Okay, there are many other features of lion, a deer, or other animals and plants that help them to survive in their habitat. Okay, from the next lecture, we will see adaptation in aquatic habitats. Okay, thank you. Have a nice day.